Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Some massive news broke yesterday that I really should have covered yesterday, but your boy had some things to do, and yeah, it was actually a terrible day for me yesterday, but I'm not gonna get into that. And of course, one of the major PC gaming stories of the entire year, of the entirety of 2025, broke yesterday in that GOG is going independent. It is being acquired by its original co-founder, and I feel like this could be a little bit worrisome. Now, whenever things like this happen, I feel like all you can do is speculate. Like, we don't have all of the information, and anytime that a press release is happening after an acquisition or a separation or anything like that, you're gonna get these press releases on, oh, this is what this means for you, but it's a lot of PR fluff. GOG has been incredible in regards to their mission statement, and what I've said about GOG over and over again is, unlike every other platform, they established an identity for themselves. They established that they are different than Steam, and they are offering something that is unique to their own right. While that is great, now we are going to see the long-term viability of said identity, and I hope that it's good because you need more players in the space. And what I always liked about GOG is, unlike Ubisoft Connect, unlike the Epic Game Store, again, it had that identity, and I think for anything to be an alternative, that's the number one thing that you need. You need to have an identity. I think when people look at Epic Game Store, they look at something that is just a lesser version of Steam, even with the free games. I think that's the case with Ubisoft Connect. I think that's the case with EA Store, and what happened with a lot of these platforms that did try to split away and do their own thing. They ended up coming back to Steam. That includes the Ubisoft games. That includes the EA games like Battlefield and the Star Wars titles. That includes Bethesda titles like Fallout 76. That includes Call of Duty. Call of Duty tried to do their own thing on Battle.net, and yet they came back to Steam. That is the juggernaut that we are dealing with when it comes to Steam, and trying to go head-to-head with them just isn't gonna work. You need to establish your own identity, and I think GOG has done an incredible job on that. However, when it comes to GOG and their identity, I think it's fantastic. That idea of game preservation, that idea of DRM-free, owning your games, or at least offering as much ownership as you possibly can. And I think they get a lot of good PR from people like me and a lot of other creators and social media in general. They talk up GOG a lot. Sometimes I do think we are still in the vocal minority in terms of talking about GOG, and you can talk and talk on social media, but ultimately, are people utilizing that platform? Are they buying games on that? And as much as I appreciate games like Breath of Fire 4, Dino Crisis, those games being available on GOG, at the same time, is there a viability for, because they have that identity, that enough people are going to be utilizing the service? Not to dethrone Steam, but the idea of enough people utilizing that service where it becomes profitable. And now that GOG has been acquired from CD Projekt Red by Michael Kosinski, one of the co-founders of CDPR, it is going to be its own thing. And does that mean it can be viable for the long term? So let's go over it. Why GOG and Michael Kosinski are getting together. We believe that games that shaped us deserve to stay alive, easy to find, buy, download, and play forever. But time is annoyingly good at erasing them. Rights get tangled, compatibility breaks, builds disappear, and a nostalgic evening often turns into a troubleshooting session. That's the difference between I'm playing today, the game lives on, and I'll play someday, the game dies. As Michael put it, GOG stands for freedom, independence, and genuine control. GOG has always been built on strong values and clear principle. When Marcin Iwinski and Michael Kosinski first came up with the idea for GOG in 2007, the vision was simple. Bring classic games back to players and make sure that once you buy a game, it truly belongs to you forever in a market increasingly defined by mandatory clients and closed ecosystem. That philosophy feels more relevant than ever. This new chapter is about doubling down on that vision. We want to do more to preserve the classics of the past, celebrate standout games of today, and will help shape the classics of tomorrow, including new games with retro spirit. First of all, DRM-free is more central to GOG than ever. Your library stays yours to enjoy. Same access, same offline installers, same sense of ownership. Your data stays with GOG, and GOG Galaxy remains optional. We'll keep our relationship with CD Projekt. CD Projekt Red games will continue to be available on GOG, and upcoming titles from the studio will also be released on the platform. I really think it would have been important to say upcoming games from their platform will be released day one, because I think that is a big issue with GOG. when it comes to buying new releases, which ultimately is what gets a lot of people excited. Look, when I talk to my friends that are more so the casual guys, it's not about mush, what games should I play, and I recommend them games from 10 years ago. It's about what are the games coming out, and I know what I have to recommend them to get them excited for the upcoming games. It's not about recommending my boy that plays a couple games a year, which is a lot of people. It's not about recommending him Breath of Fire 4. It's not about recommending him Dino Crisis. It's about recommending him Crimson Desert and Neo 3 to be excited for. Those are the games that he's going to be looking forward to. And ultimately, does GOG want that audience that is going to be a more casual consumer? And maybe that's just going to be a long battle and you're never going to get those people. And rather, it would be important to focus on your own identity, and that is about game preservation. And you don't have to worry about getting the more casuals of casuals. If people align with that identity and they appreciate that, they'll naturally come to GOG. What I would question is, are there enough people out there that are going to align with the GOG's identity, buy their games on GOG, leading to GOG being a profitable entity? That is going to be the big question, and now that they're not with CDPR, it's gonna be on them. So we'll see how all of that turns out. Now, they also note if you're a GOG patron or you donate to support the preservation program, those funds stay with GOG. Your support has been huge this year, and we think that with your help, we can undertake even more ambitious rescue missions in 2026 and 2027. We'll have more to say about that sometime in 26. GOG will remain independent in its operations. We will continue building a platform that's ethical, non-predatory, and made to last while helping indie developers reach the world. We're also committed to giving a community a stronger voice with new initiatives planned for 2026. Thanks for building the reason this all matters. A lot of companies sell games, fewer do the unglamorous work of making sure the games that shape people's lives don't quietly rot into incompatibility. And that's so true. Look at a game like Prototype. Look at a game like Dragon Age Origins. Those are games that have their issues, and Dragon Age Origins is a game that's in the preservation program, and that's incredible. That's one of the most iconic games of all time. And while I do say Dragon Age Origins is incredible, are there enough people that appreciate the quality of Dragon Age Origins, a game from 16 years ago, that are gonna go to GOG because they are implementing things like the preservation program, and they're gonna buy their games from GOG, and ideally, they're gonna buy a lot of other games on GOG, because it's not about buying one game. Ultimately, the goals of these platforms are they get you into using the platform, you buy one game from them, you appreciate their UI, you appreciate all that they offer, and then you buy other games and more games and more games, and then they make the passive revenue. The business model is simple, and you need the long-term investment. Ideally, no service like a GOG, like a PlayStation, for example, as well. They don't want you, ideally, to come in, buy one game, and then leave. And then a year later, okay, there's another game that's in the preservation program, buy one game, and then leave again. Ideally, you would buy a couple games a year, and you would be supporting that platform year-round, and maybe even buying your games day one on that platform. An issue that GOG has right now is, look at the big games that come out. Indiana Jones, not available day one on GOG. Silent Hill F, not available day one on GOG. A lot of those games that are major titles every year, they ultimately do come to GOG, but they're not day one releases, which I do think is a big issue. Now, ultimately, is that a big problem with the people that are into GOG and they'll wait to buy their games? Maybe not, but I think ideally, if you want to grow the platform, having those games available day one, and then being like, hey, these are games that we're going to continue updating, and they're going to be preserved, etc., I think that would offer an incentive to a lot of people, and hopefully they can get there. But seeing releases like Silent Hill F on a delay, seeing releases like Indiana Jones on a delay, that's not ideal. And maybe a lot of GOG is that factor of, okay, game preservation, we're gonna rely on retaining all of these games. Nostalgia, a big part. But what I've noticed about nostalgia is it's so great for the optics and getting people excited, but ultimately nostalgia does have a shelf life. I really do believe that nostalgia has a shelf life where, yes, nostalgia will get people in and you'll be really excited, but then ultimately, are you just gonna be super nostalgic and play those games all the time? Maybe you will. I can't speak for everyone, but what I've noticed is when nostalgia draws people in, they'll play those games for a little bit, and then they'll move on real quick, and then it's back to playing the games that come out, and so on and so forth. And for me, I love playing older games. That's one of the big reasons I love PC. I can't go on my PlayStation 5 and play Deus Ex Human Revolution. I can't go on my PlayStation 5 and play Dragon Age Origins. I can't go on my PlayStation 5 and play Final Fantasy 13. Those are some of my favorite games of all time. I can't play Enslaved Odyssey to the West on my PS PS5. I appreciate that, but at the same time, I know that I'm in a bit of a minority, and with GOG, it's the question of, will the people that appreciate what GOG does, are there enough of those people that are gonna jump in, buy games regularly from GOG, and then ultimately make GOG a viable platform for the long term? And that's a question that I don't have the answer to, but not having the backing of CDPR directly, that does make me a little bit worried, but I hope that people will end up going to GOG. And I know there is this stat going around and people can be like, oh, well, Mush, if you look at the breakdown on Steam, a lot of people on Steam are playing older games versus the newer games that come out. While that might be true, a lot of those older games are live service games, which inherently people gravitate towards Steam to play it. If they're playing Dota 2, CSGO, Marvel Rivals, etc., those are games people are gonna play on Steam, and I just think there's a big market for the newer games that if you start getting those newer games day one and not on a delay, that would help the platform a little bit, and at least people would be like, hey, I'm asked to pay a premium on these games, $60, $70 on these games. I would like some insurance that I would have it forever. I just think that would help with their identity as well if they could start getting those games day one. I think there's no consequence for getting those games day one, and maybe there's some issues with licensing agreements, I don't know, but just getting some of the bigger titles on a delay or not getting them at all, I just think is going to be a big issue in terms of the growth of the platform, but we'll see how that turns out as well. I know that there's some criticism on me as well that I'm not doing enough GOG videos, and I try to do them as well. I have nothing against GOG. I've talked up GOG for a long time. It's just the Steam Winter Sale is going on right now, and I'm gonna be real, it's just like a lot of people watch the Steam Winter Sale videos, and we can only upload so many videos, and I do want to cover the GOG Winter Sale. It's running for a couple more days, and you should go check it out. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is $39.99 over there. Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition is $9.99 over there. Breath of Fire 4 is $4.99. Witcher 3 is $9.99. There's a lot of great deals that you should check out as part of the winter sale, and if you like GOG's mission statement, I think you should buy games from there, and a lot of games, but it's a question of will enough people start buying games on GOG, and that's a question that I don't have the answer to, but interested to hear what you guys think. I think this is an absolutely massive story that we'll see the ramifications of it over the course of the next year and a half, but that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.